Welcome into another edition of Wildcat Weekly with Deuce Vaughn here on EMAW Online. I'm Mason Voth, joined by the Wildcat running back as K-State gets ready to bounce back from the lost Texas with the road trip to Baylor. Just like I guess real quick, kind of take us through what the immediate thoughts were after the game with Texas, and then what your reflection has been like in the days afterwards to maybe put it together in a little bit more of a better mindset.
Yes, sir. Disappointing was probably one of the words that we would use as a football team to drop the game against Texas the way that we did. We did not play our best football as a football team, and we understand that. And there are a lot of things that need to be corrected, and a lot of things that out there. Ball kind of didn't bounce our way in a couple of scenarios as well, so we didn't get a lot of help with that, but. Those are one of those games where you just got to find a way to pull it out. Really good teams find a way to pull that out, and then kind of reflecting, watching film and things like that. We beat ourselves in some areas on the football field, and it's okay. Understanding now that we have three more opportunities to go out and right the ship. Do what we feel we're capable of doing, and that's winning out. And of course, we need a little bit of help to get to where we want to go, but understand that we just got to take care of business, and everything else will fall into place.
What's the conversation like, or how do you handle in a moment like that at the end of the game where Adrian's the guy that fumbles the ball? There's a lot of other things that go into that. Everybody has a role in some way. But what is it like? Do guys on the team go up to him, try and give him words of encouragement, or just kind of understand like, hey, that guy feels worse than anybody else right now. I'm gonna let him be by himself for a little bit.
No, as a family, as a teammate, and as somebody that we care about, of course, we're going to go up to him. And as a team, we came together in the locker room and after that game and kind of hugged each other out, told each other that we loved each other and that, man, this game doesn't define us. It doesn't define the type of team that we have. No one play in that game defines the type of player that you are or how that went down in a sense. So just letting him as well as everybody on the team understand that, man. Uh, Nobody's upset with anybody. Nobody's pointing fingers. Nobody is sitting here saying, "Man, this lost us the game," or this should have went this way. This should have went that way. We understand that, and we got to move forward, and we have to get ready for this coming game because, man, we're playing against a really good Baylor team.
Outside of the turnovers that occurred, was that maybe the best that you had seen Adrian play since he's been with you guys? With he obviously ran the ball well when he needed to, but he also threw the ball as well as he really had in his career. He had only two games at Nebraska that were better passing yards wise than what he did on Saturday.
Yes, sir. I feel like he played really well. He was facilitating the ball to a lot of guys. And there wasn't really a time in that day where it felt like, man, he's just going to take this sack as a wide receiver out there. In that sense, it was one of those things where he had to kind of stay alive the entire time because he was making a lot of plays with his feet and then able to extend the play and get the ball downfield. So we're super proud of the way that he played and the way that he battled, the way he competed the entire game because, man, you see the type of special player that he is, and we're going to need him these next three games.
It feels like over the last couple of weeks, you've been using the passing game a lot more. It was something that was pretty familiar to everybody the first 2 years of your career. But looking at it, you caught 4 balls against TCU, 4 against Oklahoma State, and then 7 against Texas. The prior games before that it was 2, 1, and 2. So is that just kind of something that has been a part of the circumstance of the game, or is that something that has been a little bit more of a focus for you guys offensively?
It's been more game plan stuff. We have some more favorable matchups, and just the way that our offense was flowing in the beginning of the season, running the football, man, there was really no need to have to get the ball out in my hands on the perimeter when you have guys like a Malik Knowles, Kay Warner, doing their job out there, and man, they're still doing their job. But to have kind of some more favorable matchups and the game plan against some of these prior teams in that sense, that it was a way to get me the ball in some space and things like that, and for Adrian to push the ball down the field some more. So it's been something that has been working really well and something that I'm super excited about.
What is it like having the offensive line in front of you? They've done a really good job blocking for the run this season. What level of success have they had to help free you guys up in that regard?
A whole bunch, man. I mean, anytime I have an interview, anytime I'm talking about our line, and they're the ones that make us go. Without them, we're not getting the gains, the yards that we have, the explosive plays. Man, it all starts with those guys up front. Those five, the communication that they have, the way they play with each other, and the way they just compete every single play. Man, I'm in awe every single time that we step on the football field, practice wise or in a game. Man, I adore every single one of those guys, and to understand everything they've been through to get to this point and to see them excelling and doing the things that they've done this season. And I'm behind them 100% every single day.
Where do you think that you've had the most growth in your game and your mindset this season versus where you were when the season got underway?
I'd say my confidence level, my the way that I kind of attack, the way that I play football has changed a whole bunch. Last year, I wouldn't say I was a super aggressive player. I wouldn't say that I had the mindset that I do have now. I've kind of grown into this mindset where I'm able to go out and pass block. I'm able to go out and fit up on a safety whenever I'm running, or able to go out there and make a move out in the open field, and have confidence in doing that. I feel like that the kind of that mindset, and it's come with a lot of film watching. It's come with understanding defenses. Come with just kind of also filling out my body throughout these past 10 months now, to be able to put myself in a confident situation to go out and play my football, and go out there and play fast every single week. And I feel like my mindset has been something that has changed over this time.
You've had really good success against Baylor the first 2 years that you've played them. Ran over 100 yards both of those games, but you guys have lost both of them. What has been so favorable for you to have good days against Baylor, and then what needs to happen for you guys to get over the hump and finally beat them?
Yes, sir. Man, I mean, both these past two games that we've lost to them, the one down in Waco, my freshman year was a dogfight, and they ended up squeezing out with the win. And even this past year, held them to 20 points, and had a chance to go and win that game as well. And for us, it's going to be just finishing, because we understand it's going to be a four-quarter fight, just like this past weekend was. We understand this is a really good Baylor team, but finishing is going to be something that is emphasized this week. Finishing the football game, finishing all your blocks, finishing your runs, finishing your throws, finishing your catches, and just doing everything in your power to go out here and find a way to win against a really good Baylor team. And that's something that we have been practicing on this entire week, and it's going to be emphasized going into this game this weekend.
Where do you feel like the offense stands at this point in time, where you've got Adrian that has had to deal with things in his past and has I think gotten over them pretty well for the most part this year. He looks like a totally different dude than what we saw at Nebraska. Colin Klein's in his first year as your guy's offensive coordinator. And you had to break in some new guys on the offensive line, but where would you put the offense at right now in terms of how comfortable you guys are? And what are some of the things that we should expect as the season even continues to go on based off of that?
Yeah, so I feel like we're very comfortable. It's kind of gotten to the point where you're 9 games in. You've played a lot of snaps with these guys, played a lot of football, practiced an insurmountable amount with these guys every single day. And so as far as being on the field together, very comfortable. But there are a lot of things that we can shore up on, a lot of things that we can improve on throughout these next 3 games, and then going into the bowl season as well. Um, Man, it's super exciting because it's just little things for us, things that man we can't beat ourselves, and things like that, and it's very fixable. And understanding that everybody on this side of the football has that confidence in everybody that we're playing with. So understanding that that's going to get shored up, and when it does, we're a pretty scary offense, and just making that consistent is going to be the biggest thing for us over these next games.
You talk about the consistency. You guys have had stretches this year where there have been lulls in the offense where the Texas Tech game is a good example. You get off to the hot start, and then the second and third quarter, it takes a little bit to get things going again. And looking back at the 2020 game with Baylor, it was one of those where when you guys needed it, you couldn't get, even possess the ball for a little bit longer. Baylor scored the touchdown to go down by 2, and then it was a 3-and-out. They get the ball, they go down the field and kick the game-winning field goal as time expires. So, what is it that you guys have to focus on to make sure that it doesn't even have to be, I guess, scoring points consistently, but making sure that each drive isn't necessarily a waste and you're having those 3-and-outs or giving the ball back quickly?
Yes, sir. Something that we talk about as an offense is one play at a time. Um, Understanding that, man, it's you're gonna have to have that one play at a time mentality. You may have a negative 2 yard game. Okay, next play, one play. Don't think ahead, and things like that. And that's something that we feel like as an offense, if we're able to do that, have that one play at a time, that set your feet and be in the moment mentality and not think ahead, not think back to maybe what just happened, but be in that play, be in that time frame, is something that we can get clicking. That, man, our offense rolls. So just finding that consistency in that is going to be something huge for these next 3 games and this game down here in Baylor.
Getting ready to play Baylor, it would appear, I don't know that they've actually shown the uniforms yet, but they've teased it on Twitter. It looks like they are going to do some type of a blackout. It would be the second time this year the team's done that against you guys, since Iowa State did it as well. What do you think of all black uniforms, and is it an honor that teams feel the need to do their blackouts against you guys?
I like blackout uniforms. Black is probably one of my favorite colors to wear. So I got the all black on right now. It's very sleek. But I don't, man. They can. I mean, teams can wear black, white. Their team colors, man. As a football player, as a competitor, I'm gonna go out there and play football, no matter what color they have on. So I'm excited about the game. Sounds like the atmosphere is gonna be pretty ballistic if they're wearing all black. So I'm excited.
One of the things that you mentioned a couple of weeks ago was talking about your first game down in Waco, and it was raining. It was a late start time. What is it that you remember from that game, and what can you take away from that experience down there, even though it was the COVID year and there wasn't full capacity crowds?
Yes, sir. That was actually my third time playing in McLean Stadium. I played it a couple times in high school, but I really love their stadium, especially at night. I feel like their lights shine pretty bright. That's one of the things I remember from that game. Of course, it was cold and rainy uh, during that game. I do remember that part of it, slipping a little bit and things like that. But it was a fun game to play in. They were really, really nice visiting locker room. A lot of space. That's one of the things that don't come around too often whenever you go on the road, is having your own space to yourself whenever you're in a visitor locker room. But man, I really love McLean Stadium, so it's gonna be fun to play in another time.
You talking about the weather. You haven't gotten to play in a game with snow yet in your career at K State. Is that something that you would like to have at some point?
Nah, I'm good on snow. As far as like getting down to that frigid cold, I'll try to stay away from that as long as possible. Of course, whenever it's time, it'll be time to go out there and play. But man, I'm gonna try to stick away from the snow games for as long as possible.
Yeah, well, I get that makes sense. We'll see. I think it's going to be fairly chilly for a game down there this year. I think it's like the high is supposed to be 58 on Saturday, but since it's a night game, it'll be a little bit cooler than that. And then we'll see what happens the week after in Morgantown. And that last weekend in November against KU can always get a little bit cold. Is there anything that has gone on throughout the season for you guys as a team that you feel like has been impactful in a way? Maybe it's not even on the field, but off the field, or just something that sticks out that most people wouldn't know about that you think is important to shed some light on?
Um, Kind of blanking right now, but I'm sure some things that have happened. I'm trying to think for myself. I mean, I'm telling you, especially with my schedule, the season is an absolute blur. But I'm trying to think. Um, Not necessarily. I mean, of course, there are little things that go on throughout the season that have some pretty impactful things on players and relationships and things like that that are actually really good for our team. But some of them are personal, so I won't get into those. But I mean, overbearing kind of overall umbrella. I don't necessarily have one, so I hate not to be able to have an answer for you.
No, that's fine. It can be a complicated question, so there's no problem there. The last thing that I'll leave you with is now that you get later on into the year, it gets closer to the end of a semester. What's it like balancing playing football and also dealing with classwork?
It's tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. You kind of get used to it as you get this deep into the season. You find out your routine on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and a Friday. But once you get to midterms and now you're getting late into the calendar year of school, man, more tests come along, more projects come along, and things like that. And when you're taking in-person classes, man, it feels like you're up all day, from treatments to lifts to class to back to the facility for more treatments and things like that. So and practice and then tutoring sessions and things like that. So it feels like you're up all day. But I mean, once you get to week 9, week 10 right here, I mean, man, you're pretty much just get up and go. You understand where you need to be at all times throughout the day. So I mean, it can be tough at first, but once you find a schedule, once you find a routine, you start to really just kind of numb yourself into it. And then before you know, those are your days, and you kind of understand how to navigate everything.
Do you have a, specific instructor or professor in your time at K State that you feel is worthy of a shout out, or has been somebody that's made your classwork enjoyable?
Oh, absolutely. Class I'm taking right now, Professor Doug Walker. I'm taking a sports marketing class, and he does an amazing job with his presentations and guest speakers and the way that he conducts class. Man, he keeps you engaged the entire time, and the material that he actually teaches is really really helpful. And man, it's fun to learn about. So, Professor Doug Walker, if you're watching this, man, I appreciate everything you're doing for us right now.
I've done an interview with Doug Walker before. He
Really?
came on when I was doing radio in Manhattan. We did an interview with him. It was right around the time where they announced that like the NIL stuff was going to change.
Right.
So we did an interview on NIL with him. So good stuff, and good to give him a shout out, and wanted to give you a chance to give some of those people a shine. So
Of
that'll do
course.
it for us, and we'll let you go and finish off your night. Get ready for the trip down to Waco this weekend and see the Cats and the Bears, and hopefully pull out a victory this time down there.
No doubt. Thank you for having me tonight.
Yep. Thank you.